Hey, what's up gamers? Damien here with Games of Our Lives. Gonna bring you another game story today. This one about one of the best games from the 90s, from my childhood, Resident Evil 2. So we're in Browse by Game, we're keying in Resident Evil 2, and this is the one released in 1998. We're gonna create a Resident Evil 2 game story right here. So check this out. Okay, just wrote up my new story here. We're going to submit story. And let's look at it here on the home screen. This is called Pants Wedding Horror at the Tyrant by yours truly, Damien. I was a bit late to the Resident Evil fan club, seeing as how I was born in... I was actually born in 1988. Seeing as how I was born in 1988 and was a bit young to appreciate it as they were being released. However, in 2001, I got the urge to play some scary zombie game that a lot of people had been talking about. I don't believe I ever bought it for the N64, but I know I played it quite a bit one summer, so it must have been a few consecutive rentals from the local video store. My first time through the game was extremely challenging and equally frightening. Resident Evil 2 was simply a different experience than what was on the rest of my N64 game library. However, for as distressing as my first time through the game as Leon was, what really made me recoil in horror was the second encounter with the tyrant. Of course, back then, no one knew what his name was. Soon hereafter, I would read the novels by S.D. Perry and call him Mr. X. I clearly remember panicking as I watched Claire get pummeled to death by this hulking monstrosity. So I loaded up my game again and came prepared to use some agility and some buckshot ammo against him. I prevailed, but my victory did not prepare me for witnessing the tyrant bust through the wall just a few moments later and start the fight all over again. Poor 12-year-old Damien, shivering in fear at a video game. I would not beat this game until a few years later when I came into possession of a PS2 and went back to play it from start to finish properly. But even then, with a few years of maturity on me, I still find myself sweating at every encounter with the tall, man-shaped monster in a trench coat. So that's my story for Resident Evil 2. If you have a great story about Resident Evil 2, come here to gamesofourlives.net, go to Browse by Game, key in Resident Evil 2, and here it is. Click on Create a Resident Evil 2 game story of your own, and I look forward to reading it. Thanks.